What is up, guys? Aaron here, Curls in the Rack, and today I'm finally going to do my leg anchor video. Now, when I originally was going to do the leg anchor video, it was going to be a rack mounted leg anchor that you'd have to roll the bench under. But since then, Row came out with their version of a rack mounted leg anchor with a seat. So I thought, all right, well, I'll go the extra mile here and I'll add a seat to mine. I also took it 2 steps further by adding a kick plate for the bottom for your feet so you can do seated rows, and also attached a low pulley cable so you can do your ground up movements or those seated rows on there. So without further ado, let's get to the build. All right, before I get to this, I do want to mention that over at curlsintherack.com, I have a list of every supply that I used to make this and every tool that I used, and also I have step-by-step instructions just in case you're more of a read-as-you-go type of learner. Some people like to read, some people are more visual, so I thought I'd do both. So this is it, guys. This is the final product here. The way it works is it secures to the rack with the Row pins, as you should already have if you have a rack. I'm thinking you have these, and then it just goes into the 2 holes on the side here. Line it up, pop them in, super easy. I also added the option on the other side so you can put the pin over here and secure it, so that way you're coming from both ways, and it'll be more secure. It doesn't move at all from the rack. It's super secure. You got your foam rollers here that your legs go under. You have your seat that has foam on the inside and then a vinyl covering over the outside like a regular seat. And then down here, you have your kick plate. So if you want to sit and do seated rows, you have this, and it has grip tape on the front of it. So, some of these things are optional. You want to keep the price down. You don't even, you could have the wood. You don't need to, have a pad. I got a bony ass, so, I need the padding. All right, before we get into the build, I'll give you guys a little demo of the fact that it actually works. No movement. It's super sturdy. The seat is super strong. You're not gonna break it, I hope. But yeah, I just wanted to make something that you could throw on there, pop off, put away when you're not using it. I even throw the pin back through it and just hang it on a hook on the wall. Okay, so first of all, let's go over the wood that you're going to need for this build. You're going to need a 4x4 going straight down for your upright. You're going to need another 4x4 going this way for the base. You're going to need another 4x4 going up here to connect the seat to the base. And then you're also going to need another 4x4 up here for this portion of it. The cuts may vary on these, but I'll go ahead and link what my cuts are exactly over here, and they're also on the website. You're going to need a 2x4 for the back here, and the reason I did a 2x4 for the back here is because I didn't want it to be seated so close to the rack, especially because I have the lever arms out here. I didn't want to be, crushed up against this thing, so I wanted it a little bit farther away, so that's why the 2x4 is back there. You're going to need another 2x4 cut into 4 pieces for the, I guess you call them the anchoring brackets, the rack mount brackets. And then you're gonna need a piece of 2x6 for the seat, and you're gonna need another piece of 2x6 for your kick plate down here. The angles that I used for the seat post are 45-degree angles, 45-degree angle up here, 45-degree angle right there. And then I did some 30-degree angle cuts on the portion that mounts the unit to the rack. And the reason I did this is because I didn't want to risk putting my legs underneath here and running into wood this way. So I figured that would cut down on this and also splintering. The next thing I did after I got all my wood cut is I sanded every single piece of it. Just because I didn't want any splinters, I wanted it to be as smooth as possible, and plus if you sand it, there's less chance pieces are going to break off later on. And it'll be a lot smoother to the touch, especially if you decide to paint it. I also routed every single edge of it just to give it a smooth edge. If you don't have a router, you can always just take the sander and do it manually, but that really will help so you don't have any sharp corners that you're going to run into. Okay, so after everything was routed and sanded, my first step was to make the upright post with the cross member foot and attach the bracket to either side. So once that piece was made, I attached this piece up here, and I'll put the measurement for the this piece of wood up on the screen, and I put a bracket up here and I put a bracket down here. So after I did that, I drilled a hole right through the middle of this, and I'll show you exactly what it looks like here. Enough for a 1-inch piece of PVC pipe to go through. Now, people are going to say, why are you using PVC? Isn't it going to break? I haven't had any problem with it, and plus it flexes a little bit when you get under there, so you can really get in tight. You can choose to use a metal rod, but PVC has worked pretty well for me. Okay, so the next step, and probably the most time-consuming portion of it, was to drill the holes in these securing brackets on all 4 of these pieces of wood. My rack, it's an inch and a half over. So what I did was I measured an inch and a half over and then centered it on both on the width of these guys. And what I did was I took a clamp and I clamped all 4 pieces together. So that way you don't have to drill the holes individually and they'll all line up. I then took this guy and drilled right through the center, and make sure you go straight. If you don't go straight, if you go off a little bit, these pins are gonna catch, they're gonna make noise, they're gonna hit the wood. So go straight down through these pieces of wood, and then you can kind of bore them out a little bit afterwards. Once you have all those 4 holes cut, you can take each one, and I found the easiest thing to do was to actually put this up against the rack, and then I attach them here, and then I attach them with wood screws to this piece of wood, the 4x4, and then the 2x4 on all sides, and then repeat for the other side. That's the best way to do it, I think. Then I removed them and did the 30-degree angle cuts on these ones, and then I put them back on after that was done. The next thing I did was I attached the kick plate, foot pedestal, whatever you want to call it, to the front of the rack. Now mine, it sits just under 19 inches. I figured this is going to be plenty. I'm not going to go any wider with this thing, so this one works for me. You can go wider, you can go shorter if you want. So I just took wood screws, and I have 4 wood screws underneath this grip tape and attached it right to the bottom portion of the rack here. After that was done, and you don't have to do this, I just happen to have some grip tape. I decided to put some grip tape right in the middle here on this, just so your feet won't slip when you're doing exercises. So after you have the kick plate attached, I then took my 4x4 down here with the 45-degree cuts, and I mounted it, screwed it up through here to the back portion, and then I secured it up through here to the seat, and I put the 2x6 on here, attached the bracket up here, and there's actually not a bracket at the bottom, I left that out, and then I did a large wood screw right through the top of it, right down to the bottom of this portion. So then you have your seat attached. Okay, so once all the wood was assembled, what I did was I went ahead and I painted it. Now this is optional, you don't have to paint it. If you like the look of the wood, that's fine. Everything in here on the rack is black, so I decided to get a gloss black primer plus paint and just do the whole thing. I did 2 coats on it. 2 coats, Biff. And then after that was all done, I wait for it to dry. And so after it was all done drying, next step was to cut my PVC. And then I actually painted the ends of it just so it wouldn't look white through the outside. It would match all that. And then this is just 19¼ inches. And that was the length that was perfect to fit these foam rollers on. Now I got these off Amazon for 14 bucks. They work fine. They just, they look a little generic or whatever. I will say, if you already have a GHD, you may want to just use the rollers that came with that. Those will also fit over the PVC pipe, and you can secure them on the end with the Allen wrench brackets that come with it. They look a little nicer because they got the vinyl, they kind of shine, match the seat and all that, but I wanted to do it for everybody, so that's why I went ahead and got these ones, which work just fine. They're just not as nice. So anyways, after I painted this, I went ahead and you can just pop these rollers on, and they fit real snug, so there's really no need to secure them on the ends, and voila, you're good. The final steps were to put the seat together. Now what I did was I got some foam off of Amazon, I think the whole roll, and it was a humongous roll. I have a ton of it. I could make more of these things, and hey, if you're in the Beaverton, Portland area and you don't want to make one of these, I'll make one for you. We'll work something out. Anyways, I went ahead and did foam on top of the seat, and then I super glued it down. And then what I did was I put one more piece of foam towards the back of it where I wanted the cushion. And the foam was 2-inch foam, so you got 4 inches on the back and then 2 inches towards the front here. Super glue those all down. And the next step was getting the vinyl on here. Now I got some patch repair, leather patch repair vinyl, also off of Amazon. And all the links and stuff will be on the website to what I used. But anyways, I went ahead and I put it on here. And then I started to, I snipped it in the back, so that way there's a lip that goes down here, but I didn't want it to be quite as long on the front portion here. So I snipped a little piece off, and then I just stretched it all around the sides, and then just kept working my way this way, and folded it under, made a little bit of a lip there, and then stapled it from the bottom. It worked pretty well. I'm no craftsman, and this is the first time I've ever upholstered anything, so it's a little sloppy work looking at it. It's not it's my least favorite part of this, but it functions properly. It feels nice. It's secure on there, and so I think it'll work great. All right, so you're probably asking yourself, Aaron, how am I supposed to use the foot plate? There's nowhere to attach the cable down here. Well, I'm going to show you exactly what I did to accomplish this. Now, I had already the Spud Inc. pulley system, which comes with this cable here. But if you don't have one of these, you can buy these very, very cheap on Amazon or your local hardware store. It's just a pulley system anchor. You can go to Home Depot. They have a whole aisle where you can find the cables and the pulley system here. And then what I did was I got a cable. This is not even the cable that came with the Spud Inc. This was just a cable I had laying around. And I cut it to the length that I needed. And I'll show you why I did that. Well, I'll tell you why I did that. The reason is if you use the cable that comes with the Spud Inc. pulley system, you're gonna hook it here and you're gonna be way out on the floor. Your feet are not even gonna make it to that. So I needed something that was gonna be a little bit closer, bring that handle right up to the starting point. So I'll show you what I do. I attach it up here to this guy, which then essentially extends this down. And next, I remove the rollers, right? Pop that off, pop that guy over there, throw that over there, and then I'm able to take this strap. Now, if you don't have a strap, you can use a bolt. Put a bolt through there, put a bolt through here, or a chain. I'll show you what I have here as far as a chain. So I took a chain like this. This is if you don't have this strap. I already have this strap, but thought I'd make this one for everybody. Throw the piece of chain through there. This chain wasn't long enough, so I used a carabiner. It'll come out the front, and then you can use a carabiner clip to clip this piece onto there. So you essentially have the same idea. Since I have the strap, we're going to use that. Put the strap through here. You put this through here. Oh, and obviously, I guess you can't attach this yet. This, pull this cable through here. Nice and secure on there. Then we're going to take this back, attach it at the top, and throw any attachment we want on here. So I'm just going to use this attachment here,
Pop the carabiner there. You can clip it on here. It'll sit right there on the bench for you. And what I have that I use for calf raises is just this. So I wanted to come up a little bit off of the floor when I'm sitting here. Then I'm able to sit, put my feet on here, and do my low rows just like this. It's super secure, it doesn't move, it's anchored to the rack. All right, so in order, after you cut your cable to length, and leave a little bit extra, because what you can get is this guy here. It's a wire rope clip and thimble set. You can get that at a local hardware store. 2, it has a little loop that the cable goes over, and then these 3 things tighten it on so that it doesn't come off. It should look like this when you're done. All right, so now that the build portion of this video is done, I thought I'd do something a little special, and I'm gonna do a giveaway with this one. So I have enough pieces to make another one, plus I have the one from Rogue coming soon that I'm gonna be doing a review on, so look out for that. But I thought I'd do a giveaway, never done it before, but we're gonna do it on this one. Once the video has 1,000 views, and I will pick a subscriber at random, and if you're in the Portland metro area, I will go ahead and give you this one. And remember guys, all the detailed instructions are on the website, curlsintherack.com. I have pictures of all the supplies I've used and links to everything, so you can go there and check that out. And I'll have a video coming out for the Rogue Monster Light official leg anchor and seat attachment whenever it arrives. I ordered it, but who knows, probably 30 to 60 days out. And we'll compare the two. So make sure you hit the like button, subscribe. Until next time, peace.